What's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope we're all doing absolutely fantastic, and today I'm gonna continue with the Discourses by Epictetus, and I'm gonna read to you the chapter 29 on Constancy. Let's get started. The essence of good and of evil lies in an attitude of the will. What are external things then? They are materials from the will, in dealing with which we will find its own good or evil. How will it find its good? How will it find its good? If it does not value over much the things that it deals with, for its judgments on matters presented to it, if they be right, make the will good, and if crooked and perverse, make it bad. This law God has ordained and says, if you want anything good, get it from yourself. You say, no, not so, but from another. I say, no, from yourself. So when the tyrant threatens and does not invite me, I say, what does he threaten? If he says, I will bind you, I say, he threatens my hands and my feet. If he says, I will behead you, I say, he threatens my neck. If he says, I'll put you in prison, I say, he threatens all my poor flesh. And if he threatens banishment, the same. Does he then not threaten you at all? Not at all, if I feel that these things are nothing to me. But if I fear any of them, he does threaten me. Who is there left for me to fear, and over what has he control? Over what is in my power? No one controls that. Or what is not in my power? I have no concern in that. Do you philosophers then teach us to despise kings? Heaven forbid. Which of us teaches man to resist them in the matters over which they have authority? Take my bit of a body, take my property, take my good name, take my companions. If I try to persuade any of them to resist, I give him leave to accuse me indeed. Yes, but I want to command your judgments. Who has given you this authority? How can you conquer another's judgment? I will conquer him, he says, by bringing fear to bear on him. You are not aware that it was the judgment that conquered itself. It was not conquered by another. The will may conquer itself, but nothing else can conquer it. That is the reason, too, why the noblest and most just law of God is this: let the better always be victorious over the worse. 10. You say, I better the one. Better for what? To bind, to slay, to carry off where they will, to take away property, 10. Conquer one, therefore only, in so far as they are better. In what then are they worse? They are worse if the one has right judgments, and the 10 have not. I ask you, can they conquer him in this? How can they? If we weigh them in the balance, must not the heavier pull down the scale? This is your outcome then, that Socrates should suffer the fate he did at his hands of the Athenians. Slave, why do you say Socrates? State the fact as it really is, that Socrates' wild body should be arrested and haled to prison by those who are stronger, and that someone should give hemlock to Socrates' wild body and it should die of chill. Does this seem to you marvelous? Does this seem unjust? Is it for this you accuse God? Did Socrates then get nothing in exchange? In what did his true God consist? Which are we to attend to? To you or to him? Nay, what does Socrates say? Aeneas or Meletos can slay me, but they cannot harm me. And again, if God so will, so be it. Prove, I say, that one who has worse judgments gains the mastery over him who is in his superior in judgments. You will not prove it, far from it. For the law of nature and of God is this: let the better always come out victor over the worse. Victorious in what? In what wherein it is better. One body is stronger than another, the majority are stronger than one, the thief stronger than he who is not a thief. That is why I too lost my lamb, because in the matter of vigilance, 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 in the matter of vigilance, the thief was a stronger man than I, but he bought his lamb for this price. For a lamb he became a thief. For a lamb he broke his faith. For a lamb he became a brood. This seemed to his judgment to be profitable. Very well, but now someone has laid hold on my cloak and drags me into the market. Then others raise a clamor, clamor against me. Philosopher, what good have your judgment done you? For, see, you are hauled to prison. See, you're about to be beheaded. And what sort of introduction to philosophy could I have studied that would save me from being hailed off if a stronger man seizes my cloak, or if 10 men drag me about and cast me into prison? Will save me from being cast there? Have I then learned nothing else? I have learned to see that everything that happens, if it is beyond the control of my will, is nothing to me. Have you not gained benefit then in this respect? Why do you seek benefit? Else, why do you seek benefit elsewhere than where you learn that it is to be found? I sit on that. I sit on then in prison and say, this person who clamors at me has no ear for the true meaning of things. He does not understand what is said. In a word, he has taken no pains to know what philosophers do or say. Let him be. But the answer comes. Come out of your prison. If you have no more need of me in prison, I come out. If you need me again, I will come in. For how long? For as long as reason requires that I should abide by my vile body. But when reason demands it no longer, take it from me, and good health to you. Only let me not cast it off without reason, or from a faint heart, or for a casual pretext. For again, God wills it not, for he has need of a world like this, and of such creatures as ourselves to move upon the earth. But if he give the signal of retreat, as he gave it to Socrates, one must obey his signal as that of the general in command. What then? Must I say these things to the multitude? Why should you? Is it not sufficient to believe them yourself? For when children come up to us and clap their hands and say, a good Saturnalia to you today, do we say these things are not good? Not at all. We clap with them ourselves. So when you cannot change a man's opinion, recognize that he is a child, clap with him, and if you do not wish to do this, you have only to hold your peace. These things we must remember, and when called to face a crisis that is to test us, we must realize that the moment is come to show whether we have learned our lesson. For a young man going straight from his studies to face a crisis may be compared to one who has practiced the analysis of syllogisms. If someone offers him one that is easy to analyze, he says, nay, propound me one which is cunningly involved, that I may get proper exercise. And so wrestlers are discontented if put to wrestle with a young man of light weight. He cannot lift me, one says. He is a young man of parts, yet when the crisis calls, he must needs weep and say, I would fain go on learning. I would fain go on learning. Learning what? If you did not learn your lesson to display it in action, what did you learn it for? I imagine one of those who are sitting here crying out in the travail of his heart, why does not a crisis come to me, such as has come to him, as has come to him? Am I to wear my life out idly in a corner when I might win a crown at Olympia? Will when someone bring me news of a contest like that? Such ought to be the attitude of you all. Why, among Caesar's gladiators, there are some who are waxed, that no one brings them out or matches them in fight, and they pray to God and go to the managers and implore them to let them fight. And shall no one of you display like spirit? This is exactly why I should like to take a ship from Rome to see how my wrestler puts his lesson into practice. I do not want, says he, an exercise of this sort. What? Is it in your power to take the task you choose? No, a body is given to you. A body. No, a body is given you of such a kind, parents of such a kind, brothers of such a kind, country of such a kind, a position in it of such a kind, and yet you come to me and say, change the task set me. What? Have you not resources to deal with what is given you? Instead of saying, it is yours to set a task, and mine to study it well, you say, do not put before me such a syllogism, but such an one. Do not impose on me such a conclusion, but such one. A time will soon come when tragic actors will imagine that they are merely mask and shoes and robe and nothing else. Man, you have these things given you as young subject and task. Speak your pen, that we may know whether you are a tragic actor or a buffoon. For except their speech, they have all else in common. Does the tragic actor disappear if you take away his shoes and mask and bring him on the stage in the bare guise, of a ghost? Or is he there still? If he has a voice, he is there still. So it is in life. Take a post of command. I take it, and taking it, show how a philosopher behaves. Lay aside a senator's dress, and put on rags, and appear in that character. Very well. Is it not given me still to display a noble voice? In what part, then, do you appear now? As a witness called by God. Come and bear witness for me, for I count you worthy to come forward as my witness. Is anything good or evil which lies outside the range of the will? Do I harm anyone? Do I put each man's advantage elsewhere than in himself? What is the witness you now bear to God? I am in danger, O Lord, and in misfortune. No man heeds me, no man gives me anything. All blame me and speak evil of me. Is this the witness you are going to bear, and so dishonor the calling that he has given you? in that he honored you thus and counted you worthy to be brought forward to bear such weighty witness. But suppose that he who has authority pronounces, I judge you to be godless and unholy. How does this affect you? I am judged to be godless and unholy. Nothing more, nothing. If he had been given judgment of a hypothetical proposition and had declared, I judge the proposition, if it be day, there is light, to be false, how would it have affected the proposition? Who is judged here? Who is condemned? The proposition or the man who is deluded about it? Who in the world, then, is this who has authority to pronounce upon you? Does he know that what godliness or ungodliness is? Has he made a study of it? Has he learned it? Where and with what master? If a musician pays no heed to him when he pronounces that the lowest note in the highest, nor a geometrician when he decides that the lines from the center of a circle to the circumference and are not equal, shall he who is educated in true philosophy pay any heed to an uneducated man when he gives judgment on what is holy and unholy, just and unjust? What a great wrong for philosophers to be guilty of! Is this what you have learned by coming to school? Leave other people, persons of no endurance, to argue on these matters to little purpose. Let them sit in a corner and take their paltry fees, or murmur that no one offers them anything, and come forward yourself and practice what you have learned. For it is not arguments that are wanting nowadays. No, the books of the Stoics are full of them. What then is the one thing wanting? We want the man who will apply his arguments and bear witness to them by action. This is the character I would have you take up, that we may no longer make use of old examples in the school, but may be able to show an example from our own day. Whose business, then, is to take cognizance of these questions? It is for him that has studied at school, for man is a creature with a faculty of taking cognizance, but it is shameful for him to exercise it in the spirit of runaway slaves. No, one must sit undistracted and listen in turn to tragic actor or harp player, and not do as the runaways do. At the very moment one of them is attending and praising the actor, he gives a glance all round, and then if someone utters the word master, he is fluttered and confounded in the moment. It is shameful that philosophers should take cognizance of the works of nature in this spirit. For what does master mean? No man is master of another man. His masters are only death and life, pleasure and pain. For apart from them, you may bring me face to face with Caesar, and you shall see what constancy I show. But when he comes in thunder and lightning with these in his train, and I show fear of them, I am only recognizing my master as a runaway does. But so long as I have respite from them, I am just like the runaway watching in the theater. I watch, drink, sing, but do everything in fear and misery. But if I once free myself from my masters, that is, from those feelings which make masters formidable, my trouble is past, and I have a master no more. Should I then proclaim this to all men? No. one should study the weakness of the uninstructed and say to them, "This man advises me what he thinks good for himself, and I excuse him." For Socrates, to excuse the jailer who wept when he was going to drink the poison, and said, "How nobly he has wept for us." Thus he say to the jailer, "This is why we dismiss the women?" No, he says that he says that to his intimate friends who were fit to hear it. But the jailer, he treats considerately like a child. Alright, guys, was a long reading session anyway. We're gonna continue tomorrow. Thank you for joining today in this video. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks.